Oh, I was just listening to my own music. Then I seen Sheriff Grady pop up on thumbnail, and I said, this one is going to be a good one. I just got finished a couple of my ones, so I'm in a certain mood. And then I'm like, is it one of those days where I finished one of my ones and somebody else got one? And there you go. Sheriff Grady's working on the same time frame. But we got something bigger. Convicted felon shot by Polk County deputies or what have you, following armed robbery. Accused accomplices on the run. Just released here. No, 2 days ago it was.
Good Saturday afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. We're going to release information to you about a deputy-involved shooting that occurred just a matter of, 2 or 3 hours ago. So obviously, and I underscore, the information we release to you today is the best information we understand at this very early stage of the investigation. Part or all of this is subject to change as we get further details, but our policy is that we're transparent, and we're not only transparent, but we're transparent early. The community has a right to know. Let me introduce you to this guy. Matthew Correra. He's a white male, 27 years old. Matthew is a bad guy, a real bad guy. He's got a criminal history. He's got 3 previous felonies, one of them a home invasion burglary. He's been to state prison 1 time for 5 years. And this morning he's with an unknown white female. This unknown white female and he are in this white older model Tahoe here. They go right down the road to Thornhill, where they arrive at the Sunrise Supermarket, and they steal that red Toyota pickup truck, and they leave. At about 8:44 this morning, just down on Spirit Lake Road, which is just as the crow flies, about maybe a mile away, right around the corner really, they robbed the Ramirez tire shop with a firearm. And here's what occurred. Correra and the white female go into the tire shop. They ask for money. He says, I don't have any money. They ask him a couple more times for money. He says, I don't have any money. Now they're in the office. He pulls out of a duffel bag that he's carried into the store a rifle, points it at our victim, walks over and slides shut the door. This looks pretty ominous for a minute. And he continues to point it and ask for money, and you can see him rummaging around in the office. We're going to release a piece of that video clip to you today so you can see the robbery. Well, apparently another customer arrives, and upon arrival of the customer, they flee, they being the suspects, Ramirez or Correa and the girlfriend or female or whoever she is. We're also going to release that video footage so that someone can identify her for us and we can have her arrested sooner rather than later. They leave there. I've told you often that our deputies are simply the best in the business, and it wasn't but 2 hours later that we found the stolen vehicle. That's right. The stolen vehicle was at Cypress Gardens Boulevard and Highway 17, just a little way from where all of this ugliness started. The suspect was southbound on Highway 17 in the red truck. He comes down to 540 and turns, and he's coming westbound. This is 540 now. We are behind him. We've called for air support and canine. We've not initiated a pursuit in the beginning. As you see,
Not only was he shot, but now he's long gone. I don't think he died, but he did the armed robbery. So not only is he shot, but now he's got to go to prison. And you're going to be seeing that hot Florida sun in a while and all that, or even a video of it.
he points a rifle underneath his chin and screaming at the deputies to kill him, just to kill him. Well's gone to.
It gets worse.
Because it's been about 2 hours. He points a rifle underneath his chin and he's screaming at the deputies to kill him, just to kill him.
I think I've seen this guy somewhere before.
Our deputy in the robbery of Ramirez Tire Store pointed under his chin. Our sergeant in one canine is now directly behind him. He drops back down into the truck.
Good plan.
The firearm drops outside of the vehicle. We then charge the vehicle, take the suspect out, and the suspect...
You're lucky the victim at the tire shop didn't get killed with the rifle under his chin.
He drops back down into the truck. Robbery of Ramirez Tire Store.
There's a lot of robberies and stuff like that in Florida,
as far as we know at this point in the investigation. So we anticipate that...
I once seen one in Edmonton. He got shot too. He tried to, one guy, I think his name was Mike. He tried to rob a bank in Edmonton. They shot him in the legs or something.
Our sergeant did exactly what he should have under those circumstances. You show up, you're flashing a rifle around, shoots the suspect one time. He's in custody. And we're sending him to the county jail as soon as he gets out of the hospital. And then we hope that we send him to prison for a very long time, because if he's running the streets, he's a menace. He's dangerous. And somebody will be hurt as long as he's at large. Where they committed the robbery of the tire shop. And then it was about 2 hours before we saw the red truck. And she was not in it at that time. So we need to find her sooner rather than later.
And just, again, clarification, you mentioned rifle and firearm. Did he have multiple weapons, or was it just a single?
I previous, maybe the...
You know, it's a... He was... I'm not going to go into the complexity of it. He robs a tire shop. He's still in that stolen vehicle. He ain't thinking too smart because you get tired. He did freaking, it sounded like 3 or 4 different actions, crimes he committed. Theft of a motor vehicle or what have you, grand theft auto, and then he did this robbery, a lot of action, and he's tired by the time he was fleeing the second, third robbery or whatever. 2 hours went by, they got on his butt, his tail. He wasn't the smartest. And the reason why you got to lock him up in prison is because he'll come out and reoffend, and he might get smarter and realize, hey, if I would have had somewhere to take that vehicle or what have you, like a chop shop or a house to hide it, or even a warehouse or something, he could have got away with that scot-free. But they tagged him because he wasn't higher up. Believe it or not, there's higher ups, eh? There's the guys that own, there was a one guy in Canada. You can look it up on the 5th Estate. His dad owned a gigantic airplane hangar. And that's where he would steal all his stuff, take it there. Big trucks, cars, whatever. And they got away with it decades. They got away with it for decades. But see, this guy's a lower end guy. He had nowhere to take it. So he's roaming around Florida. He should have been out of the state. State patrol, everything's on your ass. The whole state's on your ass, basically, at that point. He's an idiot. That's why they got to lock him up in the state prison. He's a Floridian. Teach him the Floridian way. He got caught in Florida, and you got to go through the Floridian process. Yeah, you don't want to go through that Florida State prison. Actually, I don't think it's too bad. I've heard better things about Florida State Prison than I have California State. My friend did time in Florida State Prison, and he's the softest thing as a marshmallow, so I think. But he's sort of a poisonous marshmallow, my friend. That's how the Floridians are, eh? They're sort of poisonous marshmallows. They seem really soft. A lot of them are really soft, and or like they talk really soft, act really soft, and the next thing you know, you're like butter. Um, Federal Correctional Complex. Well, I guess he ain't really much of a friend, the one that did time in there. Now that I think back of it. What do you think's gonna happen to that guy? I think he'll go to prison. Uh, I don't think he'll get lethal injection. No, obviously not. But I think he'll do some years, 10 years, 15 years. He's got to rehabilitate completely. Putting the rifle underneath the guy's chin, that could have been a murder. Could have been doing life. So it's not something. It's not a year or two. It's goddamn 10 years or 12 years or 15 years sentence, and then they don't end up getting 15 years. They end up doing 10 or 12. What's the guy's name? Matthew Correa. I wouldn't say 20 years or 25 because it wasn't. He didn't get, and he already got shot. So we'll take 5 or 10 off for the art. Give him 15. You took a bullet in the butt or what have you, and then go do your prison time. The girl, I think she should get 5 years for the Grand Theft Auto and the accomplice. The accomplishing. But yeah, another Sheriff Grady. I hadn't seen him in a while. That was a good one to follow up on. I didn't go too deep into it. Florida man breaks Tampa Bay Times. They got it on the newspaper as well, or website newspaper, e-news or what have you. I don't know what they call it. Florida man breaks beer bottle over his head, gets shot by deputy. Oh, we missed that part. He broke a beer bottle over his head. All right, so like I said, I didn't think he needed too much time or what have you, but he needs time because even in a nice uh, supervised mental facility, that's basically what the prisons are. If you can get on the right area with the right cell and you don't have a cellmate or what have you. Some people they just can't have cellmates or what have you. But there's all different facilities. You got to opt in to try to go to one of those health facilities. He had nowhere to go. He's just trying to make it in society. He just couldn't make it in society. Some people can't make it in society, and then when it comes to those ultimate times, they have to come save you. If they can come save you, if you don't die, if you don't get killed, or if you kill yourself, or whatever type of thing. If you get into their custody, if you're doing this kind of bad stuff, stupidly or what have you, basically, there's no better place for you than the prison. Because I've been through it. I didn't go to prison, but I went to jail. I've been through it, and I never did this kind of stuff. Never would run up with a rifle, and never, not into a person in my community. Not like that. Maybe if somebody barged into my apartment door here or something like that, that's a different story. That would be a home invasion on me, and then I would have to enact my right of self defense. I'm grabbing my gun or what have you, yada yada. But when it comes to this aggressive action of robbery with the firearm things, it's unfathomable for me. But that's how people are. But I don't know. You look old enough to know. You got shelter resources. You got food bank resources. There couldn't have been anything in the world that you needed. What are you going to do? Chew on a tire at the tire center? I don't get it. There couldn't have been anything in the world, maybe methamphetamines or something. Then why'd your dumbass run up and rob a tire store? You could have robbed the local drug dealer. But they don't want to rob the local drug dealer because they probably want to keep going back to him to pay him off or whatever. I don't know. Or get a job. I mean, it's the first of the month or almost. They couldn't wait 2 days to get their. Everybody gets that shit. Don't fool me. Everybody's getting something. A couple $100 or 300. Nothing to put the gun on someone. And you had a gun, a rifle? Fuck, bud. You could have did so much better stuff with your rifle than that. You could have sold your rifle. You could have pawned your rifle. You could have went to the pawn shop. That's what I did. Go to the pawn shop, pawn your rifle for like 5 days, bro. Get back on, and then go get your rifle. But you see what I mean? And now you're in prison for fucking 15 years. Have fun with yourself. All you had to do was think smart. But you stole the vehicle to begin with because you couldn't take the city bus for 5 days or whatever. You never know what's going to happen. You could take the city bus for 5 days and then boom, you score enough money to buy $1,000 car. Or somebody will give you one in the community. Believe it or not, more times than not, people are giving people stuff in the community. Oh my God, you see so and so and so and so, they're riding the city bus together, being such good people. Fuck it, next thing you know, boom, somebody fronts you or what have you, gets you like next thing you know, some guy in the community or something. Hey, I ain't seen you in a while. Yeah, man. And then next thing you know, you're on your feet. Da, da, da. Somebody's got you on your feet. So what an imbecile. He wanted to go to prison. They wanted to go to prison. They're out of it. Gave Sheriff Grady another viral video. You just gave Sheriff Grady. You're like, gosh darn. I don't know. He's a sacrifice, even though, but he deserved to be because he violated the law.